Holy smokes. I honestly have no idea who's in there.
This is someone that joined us from New Orleans.
Oh, I know who's in there now. That's fun. Well, I guess we're going to find out. That's not exactly like the official pink shirt, but that's pink. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to moderate, and they're going to do most of the talking. Well, I'll let you. So you'll see on the screen different pictures. I'm assuming it's a pared down version. Otherwise, we could be here forever because there's so many pictures that were taken. At least I know my daughter took several. So I'll just ask them some questions and have them kind of detail what you see up on the screen, and we'll go from there. So I gotta get my remote. Whoa! Do you want to drive? You want to drive? Okay, I'll drive. Okay. So it won't move. Do do do. So try again. Bum, bum, bum. Otherwise, I can always drive in the back. All right, here we go. Woo! Okay, so here's the first picture. It's your travel days. Who would like to say something you learned about yourself while traveling? Trey, what time did you guys have to get here to leave?
We had to be at the church at, what was it, 3:30? Well, we had to be at the church at 3:30, but everyone was up at like 2:45, so it was not fun to wake up that early.
Did you learn anything about yourself waking up that early?
I never want to do it again.
So traveling-wise, how did you guys get down there, Graham? Obviously, there's a picture of a plane, and it looks like you're in a plane, but how exactly did it work? Did they drop you in the Superdome, or what?
No, we flew to Midway in Chicago, and then we had a quick layover to New Orleans, another flight, so 2 planes and a bus from the New Orleans airport to the hotel.
Gotcha. So how long did it take you guys? You woke up at 3:30. What time did you actually get to your hotel in Nolens?
1.
Long day of travel. Anyone else have a travel thing you want to share? I know it's like the entryway there, so. No, okay, great. Let's get to some more stuff. All right, here we go. So you guys got down there. Jude, I'm going to have you answer this question. You guys got down there on Friday. It was Friday afternoon. Did the youth gathering start right away, or what did you do? So when did the youth gathering start, and what did you do until then?
It started on Saturday, right? And on Friday, we just kind of didn't we walk around New Orleans? We went to the World War II Museum and walked around there for a long time, and just the next day it started,
So was there anything in particular when you got to New Orleans you're like, oh, I had no idea it was like this? So any culture shock? Like then, or like your whole time during there, was there any like culture shock where it's like, well, this is different?
there were a lot more homeless people just kind of around.
Yeah?
And there was a lot of people out at night, like always. So
Everywhere's out at night.
Yeah.
So another city that doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Got it. Food-wise, and we'll talk about it more, but just offhand, any difference food-wise?
Mostly seafood.
Mostly seafood. Was it flavored as exotically as we do it in Minnesota?
I don't know.
That'd be a no. So I'm guessing there's a bit more in terms of spice, Cajun stuff?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. There's the food. All right, here we go. I have no idea which pictures are coming next. This is completely, we're flying. Brody, tell me about something that you tried that you'd never had before, or someone in your group, you don't have to name names, who might have tried something that was never tried before. And what was that experience like?
Okay, we're at this restaurant, right? And we're all sitting at this long table. Well, it's just the boys here. And Chad walks over, and he's been talking about oysters all week. So he comes over, and he's like, who wants to try an oyster? Immediately, I'm like, yeah, absolutely not. And, zero thought in my head, I'm not doing that. And then it's like, it came to me, like, I'm in New Orleans, I need to, like, experience this. And so I stand up. As soon as I stand up, Trey gets up. And so we both just walk over to Chad's table. Yeah, we got a video of it. It was horrible. But it was definitely worth the experience. Couldn't tell you it was much different than a mouthful of ocean water. But yeah.
A mouthful of ocean water. Sign me up. Johanna, there's a particular like sweet treat down there because you came home with a sweatshirt that has that Cafe du Monde on it. What's it known for? Like, what's the thing?
Beignets.
And what in the world is a beignet?
It's like a donut, but not like a donut. I don't know. It's like bread. It's like dough, and then it's like completely covered in powdered sugar.
So
Yeah.
just like little dusting on the top, or
No, like drowned in
so like you
powdered
sneeze
sugar.
and your like face is white type of thing.
Yeah, like
Okay.
we're all covered in like white.
And was this an experience that just like your group had with beignets, or was like everyone talking about beignets? Was everyone talking about oysters?
Every group did it. No,
Okay.
not everyone was talking about oysters.
Okay. So beignets are definitely something there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on from cuisine. Might come back. All right. So, Nora, tell me what these pictures are about. What are we looking at, and what happened?
Okay, so every night in the Superdome, there would be like concerts, and so we had Ren Collective come down, this like rapper named Flame, and they would just like do concerts for us, and then there was also speakers that would come, and everybody just had so much energy, and it was really fun.
So was the mat? So you're inside. So was this during the night? Was this during the day?
Yeah, this was every night. So after we would come in from the convention center, we would just go here, all the groups would, and there was like 20,000 people in the Superdome, and yeah, we would just sing, dance, like, yeah.
The whole time.
Yep.
Lydia, what was it like to have like 20,000 plus people? So I mean, it's a little bigger than church. So what was that like to like have a worship environment with that many people?
I think it was really cool that you could relate to a bunch of people, that they were all there for the same reason. And just 20,000 people were growing closer with God like you were, and they were just there to worship him and to learn more about him. And yeah, it was cool to just look around and see everybody's hands up and worshiping, and yeah, all that.
What was the mass event like? It's like when you went, so obviously see worship, we see you guys singing. Was it just singing the whole time?
No, like Nora said, there is speakers, so there's a bunch of different speakers. Like Bethany Hamilton came and she preached her faith and told us about her story. Everybody probably knows the surfer that lost her arm. And she just was talking about how God helped her through that situation, and just a bunch of other speakers that it was really fun to like relate to. I know a couple of us cried during a few of them, but yeah, it was just really powerful to listen to those.
Okay, I might make you a little uncomfortable with this next question.
Okay.
Why did you cry? Like, what was it? What was kind of the vibe? What was going on?
There is this one speaker, I forgot her name, but she was one of the main, Shelly. Yeah, Shelly was her name. And she was preaching about her main thing was you belong. And she was talking just like you belong, even though if you did that, and just all those sins. And Charlotte and I, we were just sitting next to each other, just crying and crying. And I don't know, it's just a really powerful movement, listening to that. And just the words you belong was really powerful.
The place of belonging is really powerful.
Yeah.
So, for the rest of our viewing audience, so Shelly Schwalm is the director of DC programming at Concordia St. Paul. So it's really cool that we had someone kind of in our own backyard who was one of the, what were they called? Like just main event speakers. So Brady, Shelly, and the host, and Tanner. Reagan, tell me about Tanner. What's unique about Tanner? I mean, you got three people that are up there. Shelly, she's got experience working with youth. She helps other people gain experience in working with youth so that they can help lead them in their faith. What was unique about Tanner?
So Tanner was like a poet and author. So he did like poems each night, and they were so good. Like, I don't really like listening to poetry, but his poetry was really good, and it was really powerful. And yeah.
So tell me about Ren Collective. Were they your host band the whole time?
What?
Ren Collective. So they were there. Were they like doing worship every night for you guys?
No, just one night they did it.
Just one night. Okay.
Yeah.
So did they lead you in worship? Well, I mean, obviously, if they're going to concert, kind of worshiping. Who led worship for you guys?
That's more like the host, I would say.
Okay, so there's a house band. Okay. So anything else other than people talking at you and singing that happened during mass events?
Oh yeah, there were like games at the beginning to try to like hype us up, you know. So yeah, like the pig, like.
So tell me about the pig. Tell me about this Cajun pig.
So there was like racing that they did with like a bunch of different like blow up animals like each night. So normally there was like 3. Yeah, and they would do like a running race, and you would have to cheer for what one you would want to win.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Goofy ways to keep everybody entertained. Otherwise, 20,000 people trying to file in through 2 doors into the
Yeah.
So Reagan, tell me about that. Like, how'd you guys figure out where to sit in the Superdome? Was it like a mad dash where it's like, come on, everyone's trying to save seats, or what?
No, we had seats assigned to us, so we just went to like the seat. They were labeled nicely.
Sit in the same spot every night?
No, it was different each night, so it was nice because we got floor seats the first night, and then we had like middle, like upper, and then to the side, and then like to the other side. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it was like different each time, which I thought was nice because you got like a different perspective each time. Because like floor seats were nice because you were really close to like the stage, but then when you were like on top, you got to see everybody like worship, which was really cool. So.
Sweet. Awesome perspectives. All right, we'll move on from mass event. There you go. 20,000. Do you guys know like what the exact number was? I know it was over 20. Over 20 something. All right. Okay, next group. All right, this does not look like the Superdome at all. And you're outside and it's sunny. Abby, what was the weather like? Nice, 75 and
Not quite.
not
It was
quite.
like-
So what tell me what the weather was like while you were down there and what's going on in those pictures.
Okay, so it was like 90 degrees this day, I think, and yeah, it was super muggy and humid. So this was our servant event. We went to this like community garden at a church, which was cool because like this one lady, I think Kim was her name, she like ran the whole thing kind of, and it's a community garden, so everyone from the neighborhood could come in and like take what they needed and stuff. And she let us have a sugar cane.
So Chad has the byproduct of some of your yard work.
Yeah, she let him take it home to show everyone here.
It's kind of broken because I had to get it through TSA, of course. But when it was full length from the ground to the top of the leaves, it was probably about 10 feet tall or whatever. And she said, "Who wants to take some sugar cane home to their congregation?" And of course, I was like, "I am." And I saw a few eyes go. But yeah, so we just thought it was really cool. But what's something I didn't know about sugar cane is it grows kind of like bamboo, and like there's like pieces and whatnot, and then they have what's called the nodules or nodes, where you got like, can we hold that? Like between the 2 different pieces is the nodes, and actually those are the roots. This is where it was in the ground actually, but if you were just lay this on the ground and water it, it'll actually take root, and then it'll just start growing up or out and then up. So if anybody has a greenhouse and they'd like to do an experiment for us and see if we can raise some sugarcane in Minnesota, because it ain't going to grow itself all year around here, but yeah, we thought it was cool.
So Abby, tell me about what you guys did in the garden. So I can see various things. Did you guys just like harvest or what?
So the group I was in, we were weeding that flower bed. We also, she called it like seed saving, so we just plucked seeds out of a plant, I guess.
And just saved them like to plant the next season?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, what was it? Some flower. I don't remember. And then, yeah, some people were like chopping trees down and stuff. I don't know. But then she let us, we had like a half hour left, and she let us like pick flowers and make bouquets.
Oh, fun.
Which was super sweet, and it was fun, and we all made a bouquet and then got cute pictures and stuff.
How was this all day, or how long was your sermon event in this garden?
Like 2-3 hours, yeah.
In the heat?
In the heat.
So did Minnesota feel cold coming back home?
It felt so good.
Oh. Oh, no place like home. All right. Next, we'll move on. Okay. Charlotte, what in the world is the convention center fun? Did you guys actually get tattooed?
Yeah, they were just temporary tattoos, but yeah.
Oh, they're temporary. Okay.
Yeah, so the convention center was where we spent a lot of our time during the day. You'd basically go in and you had the option to either attend sessions or just like, there was a huge room with either like games or just activities. You can see in the bottom, there were a bunch of like comfort dogs from all the different churches. So I spent a lot of time just like hanging out with them because that was super cool. But there was karaoke. That was one of my favorite things that I did. Otherwise, yeah, we also did Bible study there too. So I guess one of my days looked like I went to a session, then went and had lunch with the group, and then we went to our Bible study, which wasn't, I really enjoyed the Bible study because it wasn't like all 20,000 people. It was a smaller group.
How small?
Do you know numbers? 2, 3, 1,000, 2,000.
Small group of 1,000.
So it felt really small.
Not 20, but still smaller. Got it. Love it.
It felt really small, and that was nice. And the people who led Bible study were great. And then after that, we'd kind of go back into the convention center, and there was just so much to do, so many free things, and it was cool. Yeah.
So describe the free things. Are you talking like free things like food, swag, what?
Like swag, yeah. Like hats, T-shirts, pens. You could just do different like games and get candy. Pretty much anything they were giving away. We even got we got neck fans. They were like battery-powered neck fans to walk around New Orleans with.
So who was giving all this stuff away? Was it just like, hey, here's like New Orleans stuff, or?
Just like a lot of different church organizations or Christian colleges, anything really. There's different church groups, I guess, all had different booths. So you kind of stop by and learn about what they were doing, and then, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Lily, anything else at the convention center that you want to add? I realize it'll be random and you don't know what the next slide's going to be.
Maybe more on the sessions. So they had, do you know like a rough number of how many they had? They had tons and tons of sessions. What is a session? So it was like a little amount of time, usually like around an hour, hour and a half. We had this app where it listed all the sessions and like what time they were. So you could plan like with a group what session you wanted to go to. And they were each about something different. And so people just planned like what they wanted to go listen to, and they all had different speakers and people who were there sharing their faith.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to have you take the mic. So each one of you is going to answer this question. So with the sessions, because you got to choose, so you probably all didn't go to the exact same one unless you were like the pod of color that just kept moving to each spot, which would have been cool. What session did you go to, and what was one thing that you learned from that session? Like, if you don't remember the exact name of the session, that's okay. Like, maybe like the topic, and then like, here was a takeaway for you.
Okay, one of the sessions, like the main ones I remember that I went to, it was about, I don't remember the name, something about Spotify. Something about something related to Spotify.
Okay.
And then it was about like secular music and like how it fits in your life, or not secular music, but like choosing your music and how it relates to you and your faith.
Oh,
and
okay.
I thought that was really cool.
Awesome. Charlotte, what about you?
I went to a session. It was like about your purpose and your calling, but somewhere in there, the speaker tied in how like church is a gift, and that like really stood out to me. Like, I feel like every day in my life, like I know that I'm aware of that, but it really hit me. Like, church is a gift. Like, it is a gift that we get to come to church every Sunday and worship the Lord. And I feel like I just walked away from that. Like, that's really special, and that's something that I need to remember every day.
Awesome. What about you, Abby?
My favorite session I went to, it was about vulnerability, and she kind of just talked about how like when you're like talking with people, it's like if you only talk about how great your life is and how like everything's going perfect for you, then like it's hard to relate to people, because people like you can have way better conversations when you talk about like your struggles, and you can relate with them about that and kind of connect over like your hardships.
Awesome.
Mine was also that was the power of vulnerability. But like one thing that I took away from it was that vulnerability, like she gave like a definition of like vulnerability is showing your scars as like signs of hope. And I'll definitely like keep that in mind, because a lot of times we want to like kind of hide our like scars or whatever, but a lot of times people can relate to it the most, and it can kind of help people with whatever they're going through kind of push through. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Reagan.
The one I went to, my favorite one was Enduring Storms and Healing. So that one, it was kind of like that, but it was kind of naming off points of like kind of stages of abuse people go through and figuring out how you can help people through that, or the different stages of what people are going through. And it was just really interesting to learn about that and different signs you can take away from that and how you can spread gospel through all of those. And if you're going through that, just learning how to endure through that, and how to just ask people for help. And
I'm going to pause you for a second there, Lydia. You called out the word endure. Why?
that was the whole theme of the whole entire event. So the whole theme was endure. So they had a song about it, and just lots and lots of speeches on that, and that was like the whole point of every single sermon. Yeah, sermon.
Gotcha. Awesome. Nora, what about you? What was your takeaway?
My favorite session was also the Finding Strength and Vulnerability, like Abby and Reagan. But the main thing I took away from it was like the story of Thomas. Like, he knew Jesus from his scars. And I think that's just really powerful because like sometimes we try and hide the most interesting parts of ourselves, but people can't really get to know you if you're not like vulnerable. So that's something that will stick with me.
Quick question, Nora. Who's teaching all these sessions? So like all the sessions have been named so far, and then whatever everyone else says, like, were they other youth? Were they like professors? Like, what type of people were teaching this stuff?
So she was, I forget her name, but she is like an author and a professor. And me, Abby, and Reagan also like picked up her book after, so then we can like read that together.
Awesome.
But yeah, so it's just a bunch of teachers, pastors, authors. So yeah.
Wide variety of things, of people. Awesome. Johanna, what about you?
Mine was also the power of vulnerability. And like adding on to what I said, just that like people are going to be more interested if like you're vulnerable and you tell the like you, I don't know, not like the whole story, but like you show the vulnerable parts of yourself and like the rough patches, because someone who goes up and speaks to people about their life, if it's all like perfect and everything has gone well for them, that's not like, it's not interesting and it's not gonna make people like connect. But when you go up and you tell like a story of like hardship and like what you really went through and just like how you've conquered that, like it's gonna connect a lot more people, and they're just gonna be able to like connect with you more.
So there's something sticky in terms of like people sticking to your story, or people connecting to each other with the hardship or the scars.
Yeah.
Cool. Mr. Johnson, what about you?
I'd say the one that stuck out the most to me, it was called Trash Bag Theology.
Trash Bag Theology.
Trash can.
Either way, this sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the clash between science and biblical, like how they prove each other, sort of thing. It didn't quite turn out as we all thought it was going to. A few of us went to that, and it was still definitely informative and learned a lot. But I think the one thing I took away the most is that we don't need to know any of that. So as long as we like, the information he was giving us was really good, but a lot of it he seemed to be like pulling it out of spots where it was just seemed a little tricky and not necessarily like aligned with whatever. Like it seemed a little messy and wasn't really easy to follow along with, but cool facts here and there. That's about it. But like I said, we don't need to know any of that to be saved. So kind of just understanding that it's just the raw faith that counts.
So if I'm hearing you right, Broden, is it that like you could walk into stuff like, I don't know exactly how this all fits together, but recognizing like how you're going to endure that is by like still leaning on Jesus. Am I hearing you right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah, just relying on his story and whatever. Yeah.
Awesome. Judah.
I went to one with Trey and Carson. It was called 1 in 45,000 Why Be Lutheran? And it was just kind of about like how many different sort of denominations there are of churches. And like it's kind of chance that we're Lutheran. And I just kind of started to do more like research on how many there actually were, and there actually are that many.
How many again?
Like 45,000.
45,000 different denominations.
And it's just like there's little changes like in each one, and it's just really crazy to think about that.
So did you figure out or feel more convicted in a good way? It's just like, okay, yeah, being an LCMS Lutheran, I think I'll stay there.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, that was a very leading question. Graham, what about you?
Yeah, we went to a session on like one of the first days, I think. I don't remember what it was called or really anything. But there was one slide where it was like a triangle, and it's talking about how to like find your spot. You got to find like what you're good at, what you like, and then understand where you are now, and just like find where the three of those things meet, and then go from there.
So why did that one in particular kind of strike you? So didn't remember the name, title, theme, but like that image stuck out to you. How come?
He gave us a puzzle piece, and like having a physical thing is helpful.
And probably answered questions that you're probably asking. I mean, you're a high schooler, figuring out what adult life will be like eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
For sure.
Well, mine was the same one as Graham's, but it was like you find your spot between life, your work, and I think it was like your faith. And you find areas in all of those where you can tell others about like the gospel and all that. So if you have a spot in like work where you know people and you're close to them, you can spread the gospel to them through work. Or for me, it's like basketball. If you have teammates that don't know anything, or if you want to like talk to them about it, you can spread it through basketball that way. And just different areas in your life that you can find, like they may not be a big part, but it can just be some small thing that you nudge somebody towards the gospel more, and it may get them to think about it and end up possibly going to church.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, Trey. Mikey, you like, poof, appeared out of nowhere.
I think I'll go back to the trash can one. Again, I didn't really like the guy that much.
That's okay.
But one thing I did take away is a lot of, atheists or like people who believe in the Big Bang and all that, a lot of their evidence is easily flawed, and we can disprove it. So that's one thing that I learned, because you're in like public schools, you're always taught like the universe is this old, this happened at this time, all of that, and then you start like he was given pointers of, where did you get that evidence, and if you just that how they got the evidence was kind of it was just really flawed, and it's really nice to point that out to someone if you're having a constructive argument about religion.
That's a good choice of words, constructive argument. But also how to ask good questions. I mean, that's what I'm hearing what you're saying too. Awesome. All right, I'll ask you guys a question again that all of you answer, but we'll hold off in just a little bit. So, around town, what did you guys see? So I know Judah mentioned World War II Museum, and you guys walked around a little bit. Like, what all did you get a chance to see or smell or taste or experience while you were down in NOLA? 2 slides of this one? Thank you, sir. So anybody, whoever wants to jump at this one, it's like, oh, I want to share an experience.
Honestly, for me, it was the service project was one of my favorite things. And then, yeah, that or we went to the little cathedral, or I wouldn't say a cathedral, yeah.
Oh, so that building with the black spires on it that's white?
And
okay.
The one thing that I really like about Catholic churches is compared to like this, it's a lot more artistic.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of paintings, some stained glass, and a bunch of like figures. Like there's Mary, I'm pretty sure there's Paul, obviously Jesus, I think Peter as well. But that was pretty sweet. So
awesome. Anybody else? What did you see while you were there?
Well, I see you saw different things on every block. Like right next to our hotel, there was Bourbon Street, which during the day was fine, but at every night it was just filled and packed, and it's actually where we ended up eating our New Orleans dinner on the last day we were there. And when you're by the New Orleans dinner place, it smells great, but when you're anywhere else, normally it doesn't smell so great around.
So does anyone want to try to describe the smell?
What did you all say from New York? Like, was it sewer steam or something like that?
Sewer steam.
That's what they said it smells like. So they said that.
In a humid place, lovely.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You also have the smell of the 20,000 kids around you because everyone's walking in 100-degree heat and humidity, and that's not the greatest either.
Anyone else? Something that you saw as you're walking around? I'll throw up some more pictures to see if that kind of jogs anything in your mind.
So when we left the basilica, there was like this group of maybe like, I don't know, 5 people who were like playing jazz music. And it was like really good, and like listening, it was kind of hard because the guy was very artistic with his voice, so it was kind of hard to tell like what he was actually saying, but like just like hearing some of it, like I could tell that it was like praise music, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And so Lydia and Brody started swing dancing, which was really cool. But then as we kept walking, right, there's like this like group of people who are like playing Christian praise, wild Louisiana jazz music at like the top of their voice, super loud. Behind them on the fence, because this is still in like the basilica property, it was like silent zone, please no, like it was like please no music or something. And I was like, this is very funny, and I did it. It's not in the video I took, but I was like, it just felt very like ironic, but also kind of cool because it's like this is a Catholic church, and then there are these people outside like singing praises to Jesus in a silent zone, and I was like, I don't know, it hit me.
Gotcha. Stood out. Memory. Anybody else?
Okay, so we went on a bus tour.
A bus tour?
Yes, it was 3 hours long, and it was like all around.
3-hour tours typically end. Sorry, I'm dating myself. Keep going.
Anyways, we got to see like really cool houses, and it was awesome. But then all of a sudden we're driving down this one road, and we like hit a power line that was over the road.
Your bus hit a power line?
Yes. Yes, it was like the bus was like too tall, but yeah. So that was really interesting and a little scary, but.
The driver just reached out
yeah.
and grabbed it, and off like it was nothing.
Yeah.
It was probably a phone or a cable line.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was still disconcerting for like, what's on the van?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was really exciting and yeah, made the tour interesting.
So I've got a question. Yes, go for it, Ann.
Just one more comment on the tour that we were on. In that place where we hit the low line, it was some of this, ninth ward. So a lot of the students may not have fully comprehended where we were, but because I'm old enough, I remember Hurricane Katrina sitting in my living room just watching the total devastation, and those were some of the areas that we were driving through, areas that were completely underwater, where we were seeing the images of people on top of the roofs trying to wave down helicopters or get a raft to them to get them off the roof into safety. And then being in the Superdome and remembering the images of people just filing into the Superdome, thousands after thousands, and staying there for days and trying to make a home of it for a while until the waters receded and they could return to their homes. It was just kind of surreal to be in that area.
Wow. That's perspective shifting. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Aaron. I have a question, so I'm going to have Reagan answer this one. So the upper left corner, there's a ton of people, and there's like all colored shirts. Yeah. Did you guys like interact with people? Like, did you meet someone from like a completely different state you've never been to, or?
Yeah, so we met people, well, I met somebody from Alaska when we were walking, which I thought was kind
Seriously?
of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then, but when we were in the convention center, I'd say it's like when we met like the most people because we were playing games and stuff, so like you can like connect with other people. There was this one group from Wisconsin. They were super, super nice, and we became really close with them. It was like after a session, we started talking with them, and then we went and did karaoke with them and played like, what's it called, like Nine Square. But that was really fun. So yeah, you definitely do connect with other groups. And yeah, Hungry Hippos too, we also played with them. That was also a really fun game. But yeah, you definitely do connect with other groups. And yeah, everybody has different colored like custom shirts because you want to stay with your group because there's so many people. But yeah, it was interesting to see where everybody was because there were so many people there was also people from, out of the country, but I never met anybody from out of the country. But they just like, because they were like cheering like, oh, who's from this, whatever. And then there was a few people from out of the country, but I don't know.
Do you remember like how far out of the country?
They don't, like Canada?
I think there were 10 countries represented.
Okay.
10 countries represented.
Furthest, there was even a small group from China.
China.
And they were here to study English because you can't say what you're coming to do.
Right.
So
Wow.
Like, they took a risk even coming over here for that. There was a couple countries in Africa that were represented against small contingencies. Berea was another one.
So National Youth Gathering had international.
They don't call it the National Youth Gathering, right? It's just called the Youth Gathering.
The Youth Gathering. Got it. So only 2 letters to remember instead of 3. Yep. Just YG. Got it. Who wants to tell me about the amount of walking you guys did? Because I don't see you guys sitting a lot. You're walking a ton. Anybody keep track? Like, how many steps did you get in?
Well, I think a day we had at least like 30 miles on my watch. I saw that we walked 30 miles, and I was surprised that all of our feet felt like they were gonna fall off our bodies. But I don't know. We were also like singing the whole time we were walking, and like in like lots of conversations, so it kind of like went by faster, it seemed like, especially at night when you're walking from the Superdome back to your hotel and you're walking past Bourbon Street and all these people. You're kind of just look straight ahead, don't look at anybody, and sing, and then it's fine. But yeah, lots of walking.
Did you guys feel safe while you were there?
I mean,
so much for leading questions.
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah, because none of us were ever alone. Yeah, there were so many people where like nothing could happen, really, because you're always surrounded by at least 100 people, which is like very minimal, seems like. But yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Luke, quick question. How many more slides so I think I can remember all the topics? Am I in the middle? Am I towards the end? This is the last one? Yeah. A lot of the photos got corrupted when I transferred them over on my computer. Oh, okay. I had to pare it down quite a bit, but yes, I mean, you can kind of go wherever you want with that. Sweet. Awesome. Sounds good. I'm curious, so Lydia, take the mic down, give it back to Lily, and then I'll have you guys go back down again. I'd love to know, so now, as a result of your time at the youth gathering, when you hear the word endure, what comes to mind?
That's a hard question. So there was a lot on the topic of endure and how it all relates like to itself, enduring, and what it really means, which I don't know. I don't really have a clear like takeaway of what the word endure means because we related it to so much. What was the question?
Like, what comes to mind when you hear the word endure? Or, I'll give you 2 options. So what comes to mind when you hear the word endure? Or, what was a big takeaway that you know, like if your life's going this way, like it changed the trajectory of your life just a little bit. Maybe an aha moment, or someplace you saw God at work, or someplace where you received encouragement that you needed to kind of go into the next step of growing in your faith with Jesus.
Okay. One takeaway I had from endure was that we're all doing it together. Mm-hmm. It's not just you're enduring alone. We're all here enduring together. And that was something that being like in the Superdome when you're with 20,000 other people, like really felt, we were all singing, everybody had their hands up, like we were praising together. Enduring was just like with everybody. And you may feel like you're on a journey alone, but there's always people with you.
Awesome.
For me, I would say enduring was like something I learned over the course of the trip because I have never flown before this trip like I did when I was 4, but I was really scared, and I feel like I was literally taught like the word endure to get on the plane. I was really scared, and I just felt like after the fact, like you got there, I was fine. I was like, that's what it's like to endure, because all I could really do was like pray about it and trust that all the people around me, we're all here to support each other, and that I just kind of had to trust God with it. And I feel like that relates to my life. Like to endure means to trust God even when you're walking through something new or something hard.
So let me ask you another question, Charlotte,
Yeah.
because you graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So this fall means a whole lot of new that you've never done before. Does your experience flying, learning about endure, how's that changed the way you look at the fall and going off to college?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like definitely just knowing that God's plan is going to be best, and that whatever happens, I mean, that's kind of the mindset I had when I got on the plane. Like, whatever happens is His will and His way. So just kind of giving it over to God and trusting that it'll all work out.
Thanks for sharing. Abby, what about you?
I think over the trip I learned how like endure means not just enduring like on your own through challenges, but how like Jesus suffered so much for us, like more than we can imagine, and so we can't like persevere through things on our own. We have to like lean on him and trust that he'll like not put us through things that we can't handle when we like rely on him.
Gotcha. Thank you, Abby.
This kind of related to what everybody else has said so far, but I would definitely say like I learned that you don't like, because like endure to me like means like kind of pushing through, and I'd say like you don't do that alone. You're not alone. You're never alone with it, and it's mostly like God is doing it, but then also you have like what they called it a lot was like the great cloud of witnesses. So you have like everybody around you, and that just felt really powerful. Like when we were there, obviously, because there's like 20,000 people. But yeah, it's even like powerful here too because we have like us together, and I thought we got like a lot closer there. So yeah, definitely like that you're enduring with everybody here.
Thanks, Reagan.
The first thing that comes to my mind when someone says endure is the song they played and then the dance everybody started doing. So yeah, there was like a certain song that they played every single night. And at first nobody knew what the song was. And then by the end of the week, everybody was just singing along. And someone started this dance that everybody started doing throughout the song. Should we do the
How's
dance?
it go?
Yeah, ready?
If you're all doing it, then y'all got to do it.
3, 2, 1. Yeah. Basically, that was the whole dance. Like, everybody was doing that for like 5 minutes straight, and that was really funny to see. Yeah, seeing like 20,000 people looking around, and literally everybody's doing the same thing, and then hearing the 2 claps in sync was kind of cool to hear. But anyways, that was the funny part. But the biggest thing I took away was everybody kind of pointed out already, but enduring with other people, and nothing ever has to be alone. Even if you are alone, obviously you have Jesus right by your side, but it always helps when you have a cloud of witnesses right next to you, and it's just easier to grow with him and grow through him, and be able to spread his word with other people, because it's hard to endure by yourself. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. Nora, what about you?
I think sometimes I like to think like, oh, I'm going through something hard right now, but I can get through it. Like, I can just keep pushing, keep working, and I can get through it. But sometimes when you're in like that deep hole, like you need somebody to help you get out of it. So just like one good friend that you can talk to, or like that'll point you back to Jesus and say like, no, you can't do this by yourself. Like, to endure, you need other people with you, and you need like them to point you back to God. So that's like the biggest thing I took away from that.
Awesome.
So for me, when you say the word endure, the first thing I think of is the song and the dance again, and then I think of Run, Jim, Run.
All right, what's Run, Jim, Run? Is that like Go Spot Go?
There was this guy who like the first night just like ran through the crowd, and we had like front seats, and so he ran right past us, and I was like, oh, I wonder where he's going. Like, I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh well. And then he appears on stage, and I was like, and he was talking about how he was training for a marathon and how he'd never run a marathon before, and I was like, oh, that's why he was running. But then they were talking about how like he's never like done anything, and he didn't do any training. He just wanted to like do it, and how they like the leaders, like so Shelly and Tanner and
Brady.
the other dude.
Brady.
I couldn't remember his name. They told him, they gave him a challenge. They were like, hey, you should try like the youth gathering, like a marathon of like faith, like over the course of like this week. And so he like kept like coming up, and he'd like run around, and so everyone could like see him, but talking about like enduring and pushing on. And it went with like all like he did, and we found out his name was Jim, so he had a shirt that said Run, Jim, Run, which was on one of the past slides. But he would run around, and like you could take selfies with him and stuff, because I don't know if he led it technically, but I think like Shelly did, like a mini Bible study like lesson thing at the mass event about the Bible verse that's like, let us run the race set out for us, keeping our eyes on Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who like endured the cross. So there was that. But like that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of endure.
Cool. Brady, what about you?
I'd say that the word endure, the meaning kind of changed throughout the week for me. Is I just kind of, I don't know where I heard it. It must have been one of the Bible studies, but Yeah, just enduring isn't just enduring like pushing against all the things coming against you, like enduring holding that against you, but instead just sitting with it, like enduring the time just being with that negative, just the stuff you're dealing with, just sitting with it because you know that God has plans on the other side for you. So enduring that time, also not needing to push back against it because in the end it is part of God's plan.
Gotcha. Awesome insight.
After the week, the word endure kind of means to me that we have Jesus and then we have people all around us, kind of that cloud of witnesses, and we don't have to just go through everything together. We have people around us to help support us and help us through that time.
Great. Thank you, Judah.
Yeah, whenever I hear the word endure, the like blue cross logo just pops into my head, like Fade from Black with the THX like intro from the movie stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's kind of loud. But then the Bible verse that they use pops in because it's the same verse that the Southwest Christian track and field team uses. So I'd already done a lot of Bible studies with that before, so it's just like re-engraving the same verse about running the race he's marked out for us.
What was that Bible verse, Graham?
It's in Hebrews. I don't.
Anybody remember?
Hebrews 12, 1 through 3.
Awesome. Put it on a shirt. Easy to see.
Yeah. So that's what plays through every time I hear the word endure.
Great. All right. 2 more.
For me, endure was actually the same as Brody's because he had talked about it after the Superdome, like the mass event. He had talked about it and said that that's what he picked up, that it was not going through something as fast as you can or trying to rush through it and get out of it as quick as you can, but sometimes slowing down and looking at what you're dealing with and how can it like teach you something, how can you learn from it. And just hearing him say that, because I didn't go to that session, was something that stuck with me and one of the main things that I remembered from the trip.
Awesome. Great point.
I'd like to branch off also from Brody, but it might be a little bit different. One thing that a lot of people I know and myself like struggle with is, I'm always stressed about the future, and if something doesn't go right, I'm like, oh shoot, and then I get really stressed out. And there's so many Job in the Bible, he like went through all these trials, and what I've learned is that just to try and have faith in God through those hard times, and that will help endure better. Like you'll be able to strive through those troubled times better because you know that God has a plan for you, like Brody said. So, yeah.
That's great, Micah. Thanks for sharing that. For all of you, thank you you are all vulnerable. Because listening to each one of you is sharing something like that's deep, that hits you, that's going to change the way you view yourself, the way you view Jesus, the way you view your cloud of witnesses, and also like the next steps that you get to take. Even if that next step might just be staying put in the unknown of where you're at to help you endure. Last slide. So thank you. So they're telling you thank you. Thank you. If you go on Facebook, you can hear them too. So I've got to wrap up our time there. However, are you guys okay if you go into the lobby and people want to pepper you with questions, they can? Because now that I've peppered you with questions, you're warmed up and ready to go. Yeah? All right. Can we tell them thank you for sharing their stories with us this morning? I just realized I completely left the adult leaders and the pig out. So if you guys want to ask them any questions, you can.
Okay,
Go for it, Chad.
So I just want to say real quick, I'm Chad. Parents, friends, family, you all have an incredible group of kids. So the 20,000 that were there are going to change the world. The 20 that were part of our group are going to change this congregation. There is so much growing right here. It's incredible. And to be somewhat of an outsider for a week and get to know them. Wow. So thank you all for giving me the opportunity to go with them, but keep these kids forever and always in your prayers. I'm sure you already do, but even more now than ever, now that they have really understood or learned a little bit more of what they are facing inside themselves and what it's going to take to truly endure in a world that is fighting against them. So that's all.
All right, thank you guys. If you want to keep having questions, go for it. I'll let the praise team get going because I know they want to warm up too.